right? I'm thinking of a master plan.
Uh,
Got nothing but sweat inside
inside
my
my
hand.
hand. Come on, man.
Hey,
Come
look, them
on,
young
man.
fellas don't know nothing about
They don't
that.
know
They
nothing
don't know
about
nothing
that.
about that.
They don't know nothing about that.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Woods Finest Podcast. It's me, your boy, Professor Griff, again with the shades, because I can't see nothing. Look, all of us got glasses on today. God, dog. Man, I guess that's one of those things about getting a little bit
Oh,
advanced in age. You,
yeah,
you
man.
can't see as good as you. Yeah. Adjust the shades. Cal, tell the people how you doing, man. What's good with you today?
Living life, every day that you're alive is a good day. So
It's a good day. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
There it
Cole, how you
is.
feeling, man?
Man, I'm out here maintaining, man. That's what you gotta do in life, man. You gotta maintain at all
You
times.
got
Try to make the day a great
maintain.
day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what
That's
I'm
what it
talking
is.
about. We're gonna make it a great day. We definitely gonna make it a great day. All right, so before we get started, fellas, I'm gonna give you a little softball so you can hit home runs. All right, as a man, what are three things that you cannot leave? Like when you're leaving the house, you gotta take them with you. And I'm gonna go first.
Oh,
I'm gonna hit this one first. You
okay.
know what? I'm a watch guy. I gotta have a watch, and it depends on where I'm going. Usually, I'm gonna have this digital watch, my little Apple Watch to track my steps and fitness and all that kind of stuff or whatever. But if I'm
Mm-hmm.
going somewhere nice, I want a nice, heavy. I ain't gonna say luxury, but a nice little watch
Oh,
on my wrist. That's one of the things I gotta have. Number two, you can't leave home without the wallet. I don't know how many times we've been caught out there, and the wife said, pockets. I happen to have misplaced my money, so I got to bring a wallet.
I happen to have misplaced
I got
my
to.
money.
Yeah. She hit me with that one a couple times before. And then third, I'm gonna say I got to have the keys to the whip, the house, the
Okay,
locks, the
okay,
safe,
yep,
all that. Yeah, so
yeah,
those are three things that I got to leave the house. Now we already know that we have to leave the house with clothes and shoes and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But what are those other things that you got to
Uh,
bring with you? Cole, what you got to
yeah,
bring with you when
so
you leave the
look,
house?
we're very similar. I have my keys,
Yep.
my wallet,
Mm-hmm.
my phone. Got to have it. Right? I mean, I'm gonna have my watch and stuff, but I got to have my phone. And just real quick, Griff, I'm gonna have to put you on to this thing you can buy. You can put your Apple Watch in and make your Apple Watch look like a chunky joint when you go out.
There you go. That's what I like. We solving problems together. That's what this show is
Yep,
all about.
yep.
Kev, what you got? What are those three things that you can't leave the house without?
gotta have my phone, right? And then for me, just being diabetic, continuous glucose monitor that I got on my arm and the monitoring device for that. Gotta have that at all times. By the way, anyone who's diabetic or health issues, put stuff in the chat that you want to show about that. We can bring topics about that. We have a lot of people facing similar issues. Love to talk about that and any other topics that the public wants from us. And then third,
Okay.
I could have said my wallet, but I would say I got to have a way to see. So whether it's glasses, contacts, whatever, that's more important than the wallet. So I would say those things as my top three.
Okay. All right.
All
All good and appropriate answers as these brothers
right.
get
Yep.
just a little bit more advanced in age. And since we're talking about age, we're leading directly into the topic we're talking about today. We're talking about things we should teach our kids, excluding money, of course, because that's its own topic and its own set of rules. What things are essential for developing children? Like, what things do you need to teach them so they can be the best version of themselves? Okay, and I'll go ahead and jump in first. I'll jump in first, and me as being involved in water as much as I've been in the past, I think one of the things that is important to me is water safety and CPR, which kind of all goes together. So there's so much water in this area, and I believe I know it's in the top three killers of children under like the age of 5, which is crazy. And we're surrounded by water, so I think it's essential that we teach them early um, how to behave around water, how to swim, how to tread water, all those kind of things. And then the importance of CPR, first aid, Heimlich maneuver, all those kind of things, where you can learn them at a pretty early age. And who knows, it might even save one of our lives. So I think that's number one for me, especially with all the water that surrounds us right now. Cut, what you got?
No, I sort of went in a different direction than what you did, but that's very important, and that's also why it's important that you have a village, right? Because something that I wasn't even thinking about when you said that is something that's very, I mean, that's crucial, Griff. That's a very good point to bring up and say that's something that So I applaud you on that, brother. I applaud you.
Thank you, sir.
So I went a little bit different. Things you should teach your kids. I said pay attention to the signs that you're given in life. You will be surprised if you look back on your life, and I'm saying this to both y'all and people watching podcasts. If you look back and think about how many times in your life you had a first impression that was don't do something, and you did it anyway, and how it went left and was bad and was just something that you shouldn't have did, whether you found out 2 days later or 4 years later, right? That your body and your intuition will tell you sometimes that's not where you need to go. And when it tells you, you need to listen. People will tell you sometimes, well, yeah, I don't deal with this person anymore because they think I stole some stuff from them. And then later on down the line, you know what happens? You think they stole some stuff from you because
Yeah.
something comes up missing. You were given a sign, but you didn't pay attention. Don't always give everyone the benefit of the doubt. You have to prove yourself to someone to be given the benefit of the doubt. Don't just think, oh, well, this person's cool. I like to hang out with them. So, no, they wouldn't do that to me because you don't know them like that yet. So, yeah,
I
that's
like that.
that's my
Paying
thing.
attention to the signs. Pay attention to the signs. I like that one. I like that. Kev, what you got?
All right. So I keep kind of adjusting my camera for something for this picture right back here. This is my mother back when my aunt and uncle got married at our wedding reception. And this is me looking like a young Sonny Corleone in the middle. But I bring that up because one of the things that she taught me when I was really young is in order to understand others, try to view things from their perspective, right? That's a huge life lesson that I try to talk to my kids about and try to instill in my life every day just to gain a better understanding for others and to be able to establish and maintain relationships with people. So I think that is one huge essential thing to teach kids that I learned from my mother early on.
All right. And I love the passing down of information from one generation to the next. That's definitely a key aspect of growing and learning from
And
each
can
other.
I say something that it is crazy because, Kev, I've actually seen you in that suit. And that's what's so crazy about it's things like that happen. That picture's been up there the whole time we've been doing this, and I probably looked at it. I don't know how many times, but when you just pointed to it, it just took me back because, like I said, I've seen you in that suit in real life, with vivid color, like you know what I'm saying. So it took me back. Took me back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so number two for me, the art of the conversation. Okay, so this covers a lot of ground. I think it's important that we teach our kids to have a dialogue with us on a continuous basis. If you know what's going on with your kids, like you said, Cody, um, you can see the signs. You can see like, oh, this is about to happen. I've seen this before, or
Hmm.
they may be headed down this direction or something. You want to keep the kids as safe as you can. I think having that daily dialogue with them. I mean, I think psychologists and educators, everybody point to if you want to keep your kids out of trouble, the number one thing you can do is have dinner with them every night. When you have dinner, talk to them about what's going on in their life, ask them questions, find out what's going on, and a lot of times you can stay ahead of
The
the
bull.
negativity that comes,
Hmm.
and with that the conversation when they're approaching other people. So when they're addressing other adults or trying to get a job or do whatever, that includes the handshake and the eye contact and all those kind of things. And I think one
Hmm.
of the things that I liked a lot was Cody. When I saw your son. He was giving a speech at the lodge and for a ceremony, and
Hmm.
his the way he presented, I was very impressed with. I was like, oh, he's addressing other adults, other spectators, and the way he presented, I was very, very impressed with. And I think that's the second one for me. You have to have um, or teach the kids how to dialogue, how to conversate, how to approach other people and have a
Hmm.
conversation. Is definitely number two for me.
Okay. All right.
All right, Coach, you're up again, man. What you got, man?
This one is a little different, I guess. Mine is to never look down on someone, right? Understand that you are really, in essence, not really any better than anyone else, right? You have to understand that you might be in a better situation, but that doesn't make you better than them. Being able to humble yourself is a big thing, especially nowadays where you have social media where being humble is not the thing to do.
Right, right.
Being being a person that takes the time to be considerate of others is not the thing to do. I mean, you have people literally that go in stores and lick food and put it back in the thing because they think it's funny. Like that, what sense does that make?
Yep,
You
yep,
know?
yep, yep.
So you have to realize that you can't look at yourself as being better than someone. If you can do that, that'll put you ahead of the game in certain situations. That's
I
just
agree.
how I feel about it. So
I
that's
agree.
that's me on that
That's
one.
I mean, boil down respect and humility. That's perfectly said. I agree. All right, Kev, what you got, man? You're number two.
Um, I just say letting them know you're always able to accomplish your goals, even if you have to continue to develop yourself, building other school skills, rather, right? We had talked about this on another episode where, keep trying. Don't be afraid to fail, right? Fail, that acronym for first attempt in learning. If you fail once, pick yourself up, try it again, right? Never quit.
Hmm.
Keep, you know, write down goals. You can reach them. You might not accomplish it the first time, but think about what you have to do to better your skills potentially to reach it. Don't get stuck
Yeah,
in a situation that you think you have to continue forever because you don't have better options at the time. Work on
yeah,
developing school skills, write down a goal that you're looking to accomplish, and keep working at it.
yeah.
Never
So
stop.
basically, I'm gonna sum yours up as keep grinding, Jack. Keep grinding. That's
There
a,
it is.
that's basically what you
Yeah,
said. I liked it. I liked it.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
definitely a
Nice
message.
and
That's a
Yeah.
message to everybody. Keep grinding. Okay, so for my third one, hey, look, y'all. This we live in a different world, but this one's important to me. It's close to home. Learning how to compete, and I think in today's world, we give kids the illusion that you don't have to compete for stuff. We compete for everything. We compete for jobs. We can compete for spouses. We compete for resources. All those things are competition. If somebody tells you that they're not, then they're misleading you. I know everybody gets a trophy today, but back in the day, you had to finish first, second, or third. You had
that
to
was it.
accomplish something. You can't.
That
You
was
can't
it.
just. We're not given stuff. I think once you get older, and if you live in that world where everybody's happy, everybody's no, because that competitive nature is what's going to drive you. The American economy is set up to be competitive. It's a capitalistic economy. Those people with new, fresh, innovative ideas are the ones that succeed. The people who don't learn new ways, who don't know how to produce and compete, those are the ones that are left behind. That's basically the laws of nature. So my thing is teach the kids to compete early and often. I'm not saying that it has to be the focus of everything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying learn how to compete, especially in the classroom. It's good to compete at sports. It's good to push yourself, compete with yourself. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that's definitely my third thing for um, things I think kids need in order to be successful. All right, Coach, what you got? You up to number three?
I just gotta say something real quick. When you said something, learn how to
Yeah.
compete. You remember we would have like the presidential pats
Oh
we would get
yeah.
in school, right? And we'd be
Yeah.
outside. and we be doing the shuttle run, and then we go down and get the blocks. And you feel like you was a man till Daryl Dendy came up there. Because you know we be racing. You ready to be like, yeah, I'm gonna smoke this for him. Who you racing? Daryl.
Hey, big shout out to
Yeah,
my guy
Dale Jr.
Daryl.
yeah.
and Salem
Big
High
shout out,
track
big
team
shout
was
out, big
beast.
shout out.
All right,
Hey,
so
I remember that joker used to kill us at kickball. Kickball was
yeah,
his
man.
game, boy. I was like, how that man? We in sixth grade. How you kick the ball out? How
About
you
that
get
far,
home runs
yeah.
out the dunk? Like, yeah. Big
Yeah,
shout out
yeah.
to Daryl. All right, go
All
ahead,
right.
coach.
My number three is keep your word. Be a person of your word. You know, if you say you're gonna do
Integrity.
something, do it. Have some integrity about yourself. Don't ever feel like you can't keep your word. If you say you're gonna do something, do it. Because
Do it.
that's gonna put you. You're gonna be better off in the end because at least you did what you said you were gonna do. Be true to who you are. Keep your word because that's really all you have in life. At the end of the day, if money goes away, if they cut the power off and there's no lights at night, all you really gonna have is your word. So keep your word. Be a person that stands by what you say you're gonna do.
I love it. I love it. Integrity. Integrity is important. I love that one. Kev, what you got?
All
You're
right.
up to your number 3 point.
The owner makes the rules. Doesn't really matter what it is, but if it's a job, you're never going to be the main priority, no matter how valuable of an employee you are, if you don't own the business, right? So
Hey,
start
it's reality calling.
pretty much. You could be the top performer for, it doesn't matter if it's sales or whatever, right? For
Mm-hmm.
20 years. If you don't own that business, you are not the priority. They will replace you. So therefore,
Yeah.
find something else that you really enjoy doing, turn it into maybe a side hustle, right? But something that you enjoy, grow at it, keep developing your skills, like I was saying in one of the other things here, so that you've got a backup plan, right? Maybe you
Mm-hmm.
want to be your own boss. Even if you don't, right, you got another way to make money just in case stuff happens, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
stuff
Yeah.
Yeah.
does happen.
Okay.
Redundancy plans. Redundancy
Yeah.
is
So,
important.
all right. So, Kevin, I'm gonna sum yours up as needing a backup plan and sometimes taking a risk to be your own boss, which is
Yep.
definitely a message that is well received here. And like you said, Kev, I think Michael Jordan might have been the greatest player to ever play, but you know what? The Chicago Bulls still operate a basketball team every year. The business
Yeah.
is still fine. They're still
Yeah.
fine. They might
Yeah.
not be championship, but guess what? He wasn't
They
the
still
party, just
making
like you
dollars.
said. Yeah,
But speaking
Yeah.
of
very good. I
Jordan,
love that. I
right,
love.
the Jordan brand, he was one of the first to kind of leverage his power, take a chance on
Absolutely.
himself
Yep.
so that Nike
Yep.
cut him a deal that they didn't do for any other
For
people.
anybody else, that's
So
right.
he makes
He's
Yeah.
drastically more in shoe sales, even
yeah.
I
And
don't
then
know how many
anything
years
else.
it's
Then
been since he
anything else.
retired,
Absolutely.
like 20,
People,
30
you think
years
about
Absolutely.
now.
how many athletes have signed to Jordan over the years. How many? I
Exactly.
mean, he's getting a cut of all that, all that.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And that's what
yeah.
happens when you own your own
There
business.
you
Very
go.
good, Kev.
But that,
I love that
hey,
point, man. Love that point.
reality calling right in
Sometimes
the
that's a
Okay,
face,
hard
brother.
so
slap.
Yeah,
my
it
my
is.
my fourth point is um pursuit of worthwhile activities. So I tell people all the time, activity is your friend when your children are young. That means have them doing something. Don't let them sit to their own devices and do what they want to do around the house. Have them in sports. Have them learning an instrument. Have them learning a language. Have them doing crafts. If they have their own personal passions, encourage them and push them in those directions. When my son was young, very very young, I remember an elder, an older person in the community, not even somebody I even knew well, gave me some really good advice, and she said, "Don't let him sit there and play video games all day. There's nothing wrong with video games. I love video games every now and then
Hmm.
myself, but if you let it be the majority of what they do, it's going to be hard for them to find true passions and things that are worthwhile. So that's what I would say. Find activities that are worthwhile that they can continue to pursue to become the best version of themselves. All
Okay.
right. Cut, what you got is
I
your number
like it.
4.
I like it. I like it. My number 4, I have take your time making decisions. There are certain things in life that, yes, you can be spontaneous about. AKA, you're at the grocery store, you don't know if you think you want turkey, but hey, all of a sudden you decide you want ham. Sure, be spontaneous. But you have a good paying job, and there's this other job you can take, but you're not gonna have insurance for 6 months, and you might make double. You might make more money than what you're making at your other job. But hey, you're gonna be working with some friends of yours, and that's gonna be cool. No, you need to think about that, right? Learn to figure out what decisions you need to take your time with and which ones you don't. But when you do have a major decision, take your time, evaluate it before you just jump and leap. There are things in life, and I'm serious, there are things in life that you can just jump and leap on. It's happened to everybody. Sometimes there
Yeah.
was something that you should have jumped on that you didn't jump on. But you have to learn to take time and evaluate things and make sure that it's the right move for you to make, because you're only going to get the chance to make that major decision one time. Right? So yeah, that's
I
my
agree. I agree. So basically, making an informed decisions, like taking into account, possibilities, maybe making a checklist of pros and cons and things like that. I love that, making decisions. And you know what else, Cole? I think it's wise and something that even I struggle with, but I need to get better at. When I'm making decisions, talk to somebody else who's walked that path
Yeah.
before. I
yeah,
might want to be doing something with information technology, and if you're a specialist in info technology, why wouldn't I be like, hey, coach, can you help me with
yeah,
this? Or maybe what's your perspective? And that's one of the things that we have to, as a community, we need to share more information,
yeah,
especially when we're
yeah,
making big decisions. But not only that, we need to impart, we need to be available to each other so that we can, learn from each other. So I love that, coach. Excellent job. My boy Kev, what you got as your number 4?
All right. I would say don't let others take advantage of you. Now, you can
Mm,
still be a team player and you want to be helpful and you want to be a good friend, right? But don't let others always be taking advantage of you to do extra work, whether it's a job or
mm,
other friends just continuously asking stuff from you and they may be not reciprocating,
mm,
helping you out, right? So
yeah,
learn how and when to say no, and also say, okay, maybe I can't do it this way, but if you want me to do all of these extra things, I also need you to help out and exchange some of that um, extra work or whatever to help me in situations. So just don't always, let people continue to ask and ask and ask, and they never return the favor or never return the situation. Learn how to leverage
yeah,
things to your behalf.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. So reciprocation, just doing the right thing by the people that you care about. I mean, all relationships are a give and take. But if you're always on one side of that equation, something's wrong. If you're the one that's always giving, somebody else always taking, then that's wrong,
yeah,
or vice versa. So I
yeah.
mean, that's just being a good friend, a good partner, a good spouse, a good,
What
whatever.
was the word
So
that Lauren Hill used to use back in the day for a famous song that most people never knew about? Reciprocity.
reciprocity.
Prosperity.
Very good. Oh,
Yo,
Kev,
that's it.
that
Yo,
boy.
that you just
Kev,
came out
you,
with a big one, because that's what
yes.
happens when you get a divorce, or if you have a child support agreement or something like that. That's what a state has to practice is reciprocity, because they have to respect it. They don't have to like it per se, but they have to respect it because it's from another state, because they have to give them the same thing that they're giving. I like Kev, love it. I love it,
Kev.
Kev.
I do too.
Love it.
Kev, I love that you're giving me the big SAT words. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't really that great in high school.
Well, you
So
did
I
call
get a
me
chance
Mr.
to
Fantastic on one of the other shows,
hey,
so I got a genius
Mr.
level
Fantastic.
IQ, at least in
Fantastic.
my mind.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just Ben Grimm, ugly old Ben Grimm. All right, so moving on. Uh, all right, so my last thing is diet, diet, diet. What are we feeding ourselves? And I know I talk about this frequently, but we have to feed and allow our children to feed on things that are healthy. And I'm not talking about just food, um, um, but food is a big part of it. But I think we need to watch what they're watching. Social media, um, negativity from others and ourselves. We have to be mindful of maybe arguments with spouses in front of our children or whatever. But we need to be very, very mindful of what our kids are seeing, what they're ingesting. We want to make sure it's positive, that it's going to be uplifting, that it's going to be positive. And I think that's one of the things people talk about mental health. But if you want to make sure that your child is successful and has the right mindset, and all, we can do everything we can to do prevent them from seeing negativity, and make sure the home is welcome, it's inviting, that we're having decent conversations, that we're not allowing them to see a lot of craziness on social media. That might mean limiting their time. It might mean limiting their time on certain TV stations or radio or music or whatever. I think that's a big one. Diet for me might even be the number one thing that we need to control to help our kids get to be the best version of themselves. All right, Coach, what you got? Your last one?
My last one is protect your loved ones. Is what my last one is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I also have to understand that that's sort of twofold because you also have to understand who your loved ones are, right? Because sometimes we're quick to put people in that position and they shouldn't be there, right? Not mindful of, you have to be mindful of that, but you also have to protect your loved ones. There's no doubt because they're the ones that are going to protect you at the end of the day. You might have a friend that you think is your friend, somebody run up in there talking about they going to do something, they gone. But your loved ones come back to make sure you with them when they gone, right? So, yeah, protect your loved ones. That's something I think is very important to teach your kids, especially if they have siblings, right? You never want your kids to be out with something going on. One of them, the other one's like, oh, I don't care. It should never be like that. Never be
Right.
like that. Even if you're arguing, if there's something, there's a problem. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact right now, if we all went out, if our families all went out together, right? And we were somewhere, like let's say we were at a park or something, we were at a barbecue or something, and somebody would start messing with one of our family members. And once we catch wind of it, we all coming, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, because of the, yeah, all right, you got it.
Knock if
That's
you
where it is. Yeah, that's where it is. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah,
knock
protect
if
your
you
loved
book.
ones. There it
Exactly.
is. There it is.
Exactly. And as fathers, I think that's one of the main things. That's one of our main essential duties, is to be the protector of the family. So, not saying that women can't do it, but I think that's one of our primary duties as being dads. So, Kev, what you got, man? You got the last word. What you gonna hit me with, Jerry Springer?
Uh-oh, not the Springer
Jerry
effect.
Springer out this.
The
Come
Springer
on.
effect. Oh, that
y'all
dude, the
y'all
ringleader.
remember y'all remember what I mean, the show was obviously filth, but he would hit you
Uh-oh.
with that last word where he would give you that little monologue at the
Oh,
Yeah,
end.
the last
That
word.
joke
There you
that
go.
yeah.
joke would be tough. So Kev, you got the last word. What you got for us?
All right, so since I got the last word, it's got to be a strong word. So building
Yeah, definitely.
relationships and friendships are extremely important in life. You don't have to have a million friends, right? But the more people and the more relationships that you build, more friendships, more relationships you can build, the better. Because
Hmm.
as we all know, sometimes unfortunately, we would want everything to be production based or being able to earn certain positions in life, right? But it doesn't even have to be employment type of positions. But the more relationships, the more friendships you have, the more people you're going to have in your corner, the more opportunities you'll have, the more access to information you'll have, right, to help you out in life. So one way that you build friendships and relationships, treat other people the way you want to be treated, right? Try to help others out, right? You might, with my kids, one thing I bring up to them, when you're young and in school, kids sometimes can be really mean, right? Somebody might be picking on them. My kids might not even know someone, but if they see someone that's being picked on, even if they don't feel comfortable interfering, still check on the other person, right? See if they're all right. It could be something as simple as, you know, somebody doesn't have something to eat in the lunchroom. If you got extra, be willing to share it, right? That's showing somebody you care about them. Maybe you develop a friendship with that person, right? Don't have to
Yeah,
always, go way out of your way, but treat other people
yeah,
the way you want to be treated, build
Bingo.
relationships, build
yeah.
friendships.
And
That's it.
I
That's
love that.
bingo right there.
I love that. I love that. Having spent quite a bit of time in the Hall residence, those fantastic kids that you guys have raised, they're just outstanding with the way that they carry themselves. They're always very, very sweet and kind. And I know that they're upstanding pillars in their community and the school system, and good friends to people around them. So I really do appreciate that. And like you said, it's about community, Kev. I think that's what I was summing up as. Um, how many friends do we have? Um, I can say that you don't. We, at least for me, I don't have a ton of friends. I don't. I'm not even gonna say I have very many. I mean, I have a handful that I consider friends, that I care very, very deeply about. Um,
Hmm.
so sometimes those people don't care as much about you as you would like, and that's okay. That also comes out over time. But
Hmm.
the continuous building of community is definitely important, Kev. And I like those points. I like what you guys are doing with your kids. They're on the right path. We all have, you know, regrets. We all have things that we're still working on, but I think that it's important to keep encouraging each other and sharing in our
Hmm.
own, our journeys. I like to celebrate them when they do something well in front of everybody, but I do got to pull them to the side every now and then and tell them,
Sometimes,
hey,
yeah.
you got to
Yeah.
get this right as well.
Yeah, let
So,
me talk to you over
um,
here in this corner for a second.
that's
Let me talk to you in the corner
right.
for a second.
Sidebar.
We, we,
Yeah, there it
we got to get
is.
them right. We got to get them right. So,
Yeah, man.
excuse me, man. Well, it's been another good one. We gave the people at least 15 ideas that are essential to raising good kids. Like we just talked about, community. We want you to be a part of our community. So we're looking to have new friends, new viewers.
Yeah.
We want to establish those relationships with the people out there. So like, subscribe. Please keep tuning in. We love you guys.
Put
For
messages in the
Cody,
comments in the chats for
that's
future
right. For
topics.
Cody and Kev, it's been the Woods' finest. It's your boy Griffin. We'll see you next time.
Next
And thanks for
time.
watching.
There it is.